Hello, hello. I am going live with a special guest today. And let me get them on here. I see you waving. So we have a special guest once again this week. Oh, I'm so excited. I can see you, Kate.
Yay, it worked. Can you hear me also?
Yes,
Oh,
I can hear you
awesome.
good. You know, sometimes my phone gets really upset with me that I have so much going on my phone that it will not show me the person because of storage issues. So I
Ah,
could not see Anna, who I was talking with yesterday, but I can see you. So I'm so happy to see your
yay.
face. Okay.
Great.
So super excited to have this conversation. Hold on, I'm turning up my volume with Kate Zapata. Hey, Renewed Me 2024. That is Logan. Hey, Logan. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Citrus Valley Massage Therapy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I will share who I am just in case you've never been on the page before. I am Michelle Fletcher. I am the founder of the Holistic Business Network. And this month is Women's History Month or Women's International Month, whatever you decide to call it, because I've seen it call a variation of names. And so, in honor of this month, I wanted to showcase the amazing women of the Holistic Business Network. And Kate is one of these amazing women. And also, this month is Nutrition Month. So, Kate is like the perfect person for me to talk to because not only is she an international woman, she's not from the US, neither am I. She's also very well versed in nutrition. So, we are going to be talking all things gut health and nutrition with Kate Zapata. And what I'm going to do, Kate, because I like to talk, I've really been handing it over to the special guest to share who you are and what you do, and you can share where you're located, all those things. So you could just give us a background of who you are and why I get so excited about what you do. So I'm turning it over to you, Kate.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for everything that you do. We really appreciate all of that. So my name is Kate Zapata. As Michelle mentioned, I am a nutritional therapist and also a board certified holistic registered nurse and a founder of Simple and Sweet Nutrition, where I help women regain their health through lifestyle changes and different practices that focus on gut health.
Yes. And Kate, tell us where you're from.
So I am originally from Poland.
I think that is so cool because Kate might be the first person I've ever met from Poland, which is crazy because I'm from England and that's not too far from Poland, but I never met anyone from Poland in England. So I'm like stoked that I know Kate now to say that I know someone from Poland.
Yay.
Okay. So Kate, one thing about you that really is so intriguing and so interesting is your journey on this path. So I love when you share your story, honestly, how you got put in this direction. So can you please share that with us? Because I know you have a background in the medical field, but then it took you in another direction. So please share that because it's so good.
Sure, of course. So I was working as a nurse, obviously following all of the guidelines of our standard medical field, right? Seeing patients, and all while my son, who was at that time, I want to say maybe 7 or 9, started having some issues. And nothing will change your trajectory as you know your children struggling with something, right?
Yeah.
So I, we went to all the doctors. I mean, we've gone to just every specialist you can think of, allergies, for allergies, just all sorts of specialists. We would probably be at the doctor's office every week, just running tests and just doing different things. And to be honest, I was fine with it, however, we were not seeing any improvement, right? So if you're seeing improvement, that's one thing, but a child that is 8 or 9, struggling with his health and not seeing improvement, it's really heartbreaking. So by the grace of God, I was at a yoga studio and spoke to the owner, and she mentioned to me that they're going to have a sort of like a wellness get together, and there's going to be vendors, and there's going to be chiropractors and different things. And I spoke to her about my son's struggles, and she said, you have to come, you have to talk to this chiropractor that does nutritional therapy. I'm like, well, I am in, because nothing else is working. So at this point, I will try anything. And so we went, and he did some muscle testing right there on the spot. And he's like, yeah, there's stuff I can do for him. So without thinking, we went back to him. And I want to say within 2 weeks, we've seen improvements. And so I was baffled, right? Because I was told the diet that I was on is healthy, and eating everything that we're supposed to. And for the most part, we ate fresh foods, and however, there was some processed stuff in our diet. The conventional dairy, a lot of gluten, and so he gave me some books to read. One of them was by Sally Fallon, and just some other books that I've read at that time just totally changed my mind about how nutrition can really improve our life and our health. So from then on, I really started diving deep and researching and just reading a lot. And at a certain point, I said, okay, I think it's time to transition from nursing and sort of telling people that, cholesterol is really caused by fat, to transition to a different paradigm that I was seeing was the truth. So that's sort of when I dove in, went to the nutritional school, and I never looked back. And so here I am, helping women through their struggles.
That's amazing. Like to say, you know what? I see, this is amazing. Every time I am on a Zoom or live, someone knocks on my door. I am so sorry to do this.
That's
Guys,
okay.
1 second. I'm on a live meeting, and I'm like, my door's. I'm coming. Oh my goodness. This is wild. This happened to me so many times yesterday. I was like, what is happening? No one comes to my house when I'm not on a meeting or Zoom, but it's all good. We are back. Someone was asking me about our pest control. We're good. My husband just told me the neighbor was coming, so I really thought it was a neighbor, and I'm like, no. But okay, we are back to Kate. I'm so sorry. That is wild.
No worries.
So I'm just so intrigued that you took a leap of faith in leaving what you knew and what you practiced as a nurse and then going. I mean, guys, if that doesn't show the passion that she has for the information she was learning, to totally, give up that side of your career to now study something totally different from what you learn. I know in the medical field, these are not the things you're learning, the holistic side of wellness. And I've had a very similar experience to you, and it was because of my son. It was because of my son, my eyes were open to more holistic modalities, because if it wasn't, I think you're right. There's something about a mom's passion for wanting, like we will suffer, right? We
Yes.
will suffer ourselves
Yes.
because you had mentioned that part in your story too, that you had issues, but when it came to your son with issues, then you were like, wait a minute, I'm going to make some changes.
I think as women, we don't really, like focus on our issues, and frequently we're not motivated to make the changes because we just think that, those are normal things, right? And they're not. So, if we're struggling, there's a reason for that. And that's just our body telling us that something's not working, whether it's in the way you're living or the way you're eating or both. But you can certainly make changes to calm that noise.
Yeah. And I love the saying that just because it's common doesn't mean it's normal.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, just because it's common doesn't mean it's normal. So I don't know, I think other people on here should be curious too. Like, what are some of you guys have to follow Kate at her page. Simple and Sweet Nutrition is so good. She's so good at just like sharing information in just like a really easy way to comprehend. So what are some of the tips and tricks that you started to incorporate, or even that now you practice? Because I know you're just like a walking testimony with the things that you share that you do to help with gut health and just simplifying your nutrition.
Yeah, so one of the most important things is really focusing on real food, right? So not eating things that are coming out of the box, but rather focusing on foods that are fresh, cooking ourselves and in our own home. That's probably the biggest part of, like, that's a huge win. And I know it's not always feasible for everybody, but there are ways that you can sort of structure your day to make that happen. So I think that is a huge transition for most people, to make sure that they're eating at home most of the time. And if you are eating out, that you are making those healthy choices. And, it's kind of crazy that we have to call it a healthy diet. Because it's just the way we should be eating. It's not like anything crazy. It blows my mind. It's like, oh, you're on the diet because you're eating vegetables and stuff. And so, yeah, it's sort of funny how we put that, oh, you can't eat chips or this or that. It's like, no, I don't eat those because it's really just junk. It's not really food.
Yeah, like over 100 years ago, those things didn't even exist. So it's like, it's so funny, like the times we're in where natural food is like looked down upon, like, oh, you're just so healthy. It's insane. But what have you, so I know you helped to heal your own gut.
Yeah.
And you also helped to heal your son's gut. It was the root of, so I love what you say, the root of most issues are in the gut, right? So so I will tell people to follow your page because there's so many things you could probably share, and also reach out to Kate if you do have questions because she is a wealth of knowledge. But let me ask you, who are some of your like demographics for clients? Do you have a specific demographic, or is it, I know you've helped your son, you've helped yourself, so that's already children and adults.
So, I don't really focus on children, but most women that will have kids will make those changes for their whole family. So it really impacts the whole family. So primarily I work with women. I've had women as young as 16 to 60 some years old. So just the whole gamut. And I've worked with men as well, but on a smaller, just less men. But certainly the lifestyle changes and improvements in gut health can apply to both.
Yeah. I think it's so good that you're working with like teenagers too, because that's such a age where you start to put this into practice. Then It can guide you so well in your adult life. I wish I knew this information when I was a teenager. Honestly, I
Yeah,
used to eat little Debbie brownies
yeah,
at school for lunch. Like that's what I would eat all
yeah,
day, and then go play soccer. Like that's
yeah.
crazy.
That's that I have actually a client right now. She, plays soccer, and it's just mind-blowing the things that she would be eating and the things that are brought as snacks for kids after the game. It just like blows my mind. We want them to run and have all this energy and be super athletic, and we're feeding them things like, little Debbie cakes and just other stuff. And, don't get me started on the different chips and whatever. I don't even know all of them. And we call Gatorade like a health drink. It's just I cannot handle it. you
Yeah,
know.
we're in such weird times where, like, I think this was over 30 years ago because I graduated high school over 30 years ago. 30 years ago this year, actually, that I was eating Little
Yeah.
Debbie's. But I have a feeling that the ingredients in Little Debbie back then were probably a little bit better, even though it was still not good and it was packaged. Probably it was a bit better than what we have today because it's like now they're just
For
wild with
sure.
everything.
Yeah, right now the amount of chemicals
Yeah.
and just different things that are stuffed into all those foods is just mind-blowing. And so really avoiding those foods is probably our best bet, and not even, I mean, yes, you can eat occasionally something like that, but to be honest, it does not fuel your body with literally anything. So I would rather eat a home-baked cookie than eating things like that.
That is so, I love that. Still getting to
Yeah,
eat it, but at your home where you know what's
yeah,
in it. That is
yeah.
such good advice. I love Logan. Logan is like so energized on here. She's like, yes, same. And she's like, I know it's bad. She's so funny. She's like so animated on here. I can see her. I see you, Logan. So, okay, so you deal with mostly women, but there could be
Mm-hmm.
men that you work
Yeah,
with. And I love that you deal with women and moms because guess what? What the mom is really in control of the food, right? We're really the
exactly.
ones purchasing the food, preparing the food, unless you're blessed to have a husband that does
Yes.
those things. I'm not. I'm doing all of that.
Same.
So my awareness has been because, oh, I want my family to eat well
Yeah.
and all the things. So I love that you're sharing it with that demographic because they have so much influence over the family and the people in the community. So, okay. So what are some misconceptions? So you deal with gut health and also simplifying nutrition. What do you find to be some misconceptions when it comes to making nutrition simple? And then I'm going to ask you another question about what are some misconceptions that people have about improving their gut. But
Yeah.
I'll let you talk about making nutrition simple, which I think you touched on earlier.
Yeah, so I think we feel like, oh, I have to cook every meal and everything has to be done from scratch. There are still so many ways that you can simplify things. Batch cooking, so making larger portions and then just literally saving them for later. Just really simplifies, for example, lunches. I hate cooking lunch. I just do not want to cook again because then I have to cook again in the evening. So I make enough so that we have something for lunch. And there are simple ways of eating lunch that does not require even cooking. So, certain things like, I don't know, smoked salmon, sardines, or some of that. If you make a lot of taco meat, you can just throw some kind of a bowl with some of that meat, vegetables, and just simple things. So it doesn't have to be complicated. You do not have to be a chef and like.
Oh, oh, I can. Can you hear me? Oh, I couldn't for a second. You
Oh no.
froze, but I'm wondering if it might have been on my end. So let me not stop you. That was probably
Oh,
me
sorry.
and my reception.
Sorry.
But hopefully everyone else could hear you well. But no, that was so good. You're
Yeah.
right. Like the bowl thing is so genius. I think. And then I even think too, there's so many healthy meal prep places that
Yeah.
if you're not a good
Yeah.
cook, you can like just have a subscription. And
Yeah.
I've seen some really healthy meals like being delivered to people. I have not used the service. I've had friends that
Mm-hmm.
have used it and like prepared a meal for me from their
Yeah.
their delivery, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this is good.
Yeah.
So
And for the most part, those boxes come with pretty much everything that you need, including vegetables and just different things. So I think that that is an excellent option to do if you don't want to come up with something to eat every single day.
I love that. I love that. Okay, that's so good. Oh, Logan said that she couldn't hear you
Oh
for a
no.
second either, but no, you're good now. So
Okay.
you're back. It wasn't just, I thought it was me. Okay, so that, I love those tips, Kate. And then when it comes to gut health, what are like misconceptions that people have about improving their gut health?
Yeah, so I think the first thing, I mean, a lot of people struggle with what we call indigestion, right? Indigestion, maybe heartburn, things like that. And the first thing we reach for is antacids. And then a step up from that is maybe something like a Prilosec, right?
Mhm.
And those are all currently available over the counter. Before they used, when I started in nursing, those were prescribed medications. Now you can go into a pharmacy and just pick them up and, start taking them without any consultation with your physician. So, for the most part, the reason why we have the indigestion and the issues with digesting our foods and maybe having some of that heartburn, reflux, is not because we have too much stomach acid. I think that is like such
Mm.
a misconception. It is actually the opposite. So as we are older, as we have more and more stress in our life, we are producing less and less acid. And so what happens is that the food in our stomach is not really moving through our gut as fast as it should. So it's basically just sitting there and we have that uncomfortable feeling, bloating, and other issues. But specifically with the acid, the sphincter just doesn't close because the acidity in our stomach is not as low as it should be. So before reaching for that antacid, I know sometimes we have to because it's just so uncomfortable. There are, better options to do. So
Wow, that is so good because
yeah,
I'm sure there's a lot of people on here that think, oh, I've got indigestion, I need to take an antacid when they already don't have enough acid in their
yeah,
stomach to help the digestion process.
yeah.
Oh,
And that really like triggers a cascade because the way our digestion works is that it starts, really it starts in our brain and it just cascades down. So if something up here doesn't work, then,
mhm.
things in your colon aren't going to be functioning as well as they should, and maybe in the small intestine. So we're just not going to be absorbing as well as we should. In addition, you're not going to be releasing enough digestive enzymes that you need if the pH in your stomach is not what it should be. So just keep that in mind that it's not really what you think. And fixing it
Yeah.
with antacids is not really a long-term solution.
And it just scared me when you said, oh, Prilosec and that other one used to be
Yeah,
like medication where you have to get a
yeah,
prescription. Now you can freely get
yeah,
it. You don't know how it's truly affecting your body if you don't do the research.
yeah.
That is
And
powerful right there.
yeah, and in fact, it's well proven that if you're taking it over a long period of time, you're not absorbing the magnesium that you should. So your mineral status is really wrecked after taking those medications. And to be honest, your doctor, if you tell them that, oh, I don't feel as good after eating, that is the first thing they're going to use without asking any questions about what your diet looks like. That will help you, but then you have to take another 5 meds to take care of side effects of that one. So really thinking
Ooh.
about how our bodies work can really help us, and just that knowledge of what I need to do to make more acid in my stomach to digest the foods appropriately is just like amazing
That is
knowledge.
what I love. You share information on how people can do that on your page too. You guys have to
Yes.
follow Kate's page. It's Simple and Sweet Nutrition. She gives so many tips. I even love like I think you shared the one where do not drink. a certain amount of time before you're going to eat.
Yeah.
That's another way to help with having enough
Yeah.
stomach acid in your stomach. Like, she shares so many nuggets.
Yeah, I
I
mean, we
love
go
it.
to you go to a restaurant and you're given this gigantic glass of ice water, and you're like, oh, okay, let me just start with water. And you drink so much water that we're, first of all, diluting the acid. Second of all, it's ice cold, so it's sort of literally paralyzing how you're digesting food. So I would suggest probably no more than 1 cup of fluid around your meal. You could have maybe a cup of water, maybe with a tiny sprinkle of salt, probably 15 minutes before your meal. But I would say during the meal, it's not really beneficial to keep drinking and drinking and drinking. You know, the waiter comes in and he keeps pouring that water into your cup. I always say no, thank you.
Yeah.
I just need a small glass of water with the twist of lemon. That's all you need.
Okay. I love this. I love all of this stuff. Like, these are things that, I'm always adding to my knowledge base. And so I've just made so many changes over the years.
Yeah.
And I love nutrition talk, gut health talk, because that's important for every single one of us on this planet. We got to get our gut health right. Because one thing
Yes.
I love that Kate shared before, because Kate was a part of our relief retreat, which was a virtual 2-day conference we had. And I will never forget you saying, digestion starts in the brain. And
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the
Yeah. And
brain is like, yeah.
yeah, so when you're, grabbing that breakfast on the go, running out and just eating in the car, that is actually part of the reason why you're not producing that stomach acid, is because your brain has not acknowledged that you're about to eat. Your brain is on the go and not in that rest and digest state. So, very important. And to be honest, when we say stress is behind everything, it is. However you look at stress, it doesn't even have to be like emotional stress, but that is stress on your body. So just throwing that out there.
Okay. I love this. Renewed me. I love that you're still on here and giving all the faces and all the things. So smart, meeting the needs. Yes. So good. Kate is full of so many nuggets. Kate, I want you to share with us if you have anything exciting coming up, any workshops or anything that you're doing that we should be aware of.
So I do have a promotion right now. So I work in my practice. I do obviously functional testing. So if anybody's interested, I do have packages. And so currently in the month of March, every client that I sign up for one of those packages, I am offering a sleeve of light therapy patches. And so just adding that to just the ways that we heal is a huge, huge bonus. So if you're interested, please contact me. You can just reach out to me directly in the DMs.
Nice. All right, guys. So getting those tests done, so
Yeah,
eye-opening,
for
so eye-opening.
sure.
And outside of Instagram, where her page is Simple and Sweet Nutrition, you'll see it because I'm going to tag her when I get to
Mhm.
repost it. But where else can people reach you? How can they reach you?
So primarily Instagram, and on my website, I have different ways you can contact me. So I have an application process. So you just basically fill out your information, and then we have a 30-minute free consult so we can talk about really anything, things that are bothering you. How would I be able to help you, and what would be the best options as far as testing and figuring out what the root cause of issues really is.
And is
So
your website address also
yeah,
Simple and
it's
Sweet Nutrition.com?
simpleandsweetnutrition.com,
Okay.
and really easy to navigate. Just go to work with me and you can just fill out the application. It's easy as that.
So here we have, she was in traditional medicine as a nurse, and now she has navigated her way after helping to heal her gut, her son's gut, to holistic, nutritional, what did you say? Nutritional, oh my
Therapy.
goodness.
Mhm.
Therapy. I was going to say therapy, but then I held myself back.
Yeah.
What is wrong with me? And also an expert in gut health.
Yes.
I love that she that you have both sides
Yeah.
of medicine, the traditional side and the holistic side, because it really gives you even more perspective on certain areas that might work okay in traditional medicine, and then, you know, really how holistic medicine helps to bring everything together. So thank you so much, Kate Zapata.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. You can find a full podcast interview with Kate on our Holistic Business Network YouTube channel. When she was a part of our relief retreat, she absolutely rocked it. She was interviewed by Cordera, and she had some amazing questions. So that was a great interview too. If you want to learn more about all the things, you can find her on our YouTube channel, and she is a part of our Holistic Business Network. So if you're looking to find her and you don't see this information below, which I'm going to post, then you can reach out to us and we will definitely get you her information. So thank you so much, Kate, for taking the time.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome, and happy Women's International Month and Women's History Month. Yes.
To you too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Bye-bye.
Bye.